In the entrepreneur community, it's time that we start talking more about vices. I'm talking weed, porn, alcohol, even things like Adderall. I would even argue that caffeine addiction and social media addictions. All of these addictions are rife in the business community. And if you're suffering from any of these, the first thing to know is you are not alone. I've been working with entrepreneurs since 2008, and most entrepreneurs that I work with have some type of vice. It is prevalent in our community. So if it's you, again, it's not your fault, and don't feel like you're alone. It is very, very common. Why is it common? Well, I think as an entrepreneur, it can feel very lonely. Running your own business, you're under a lot of stress. If things go wrong, there are real consequences. It's not like if you have a job. If you lose your job, then all right, you've got a small financial hit, but you just get another job, no big deal. As an entrepreneur, if your business fails, you could lose your whole livelihood, and it can be difficult to get up, start again. There are also way more responsibilities as a business owner than there is if you're just running a regular job. Nobody tells you what to do. As an entrepreneur, you got to figure out everything on your own. It is a really stressful job to have as an entrepreneur. I'm sure that you haven't been taught fantastic coaching habits, maybe by your parents, or anybody's probably never taught you how to cope with this stress. So usually we go for the things that are easy access to us, or things that we've been doing for a long time, such as drinking alcohol, such as smoking weed, such as watching porn, or just being sucked into social media and spending hours a day. Now, I'm not saying that these are bad things to do. I'm just saying these things have an impact on your performance as an entrepreneur. Obviously, if you're smoking weed during the day, it's not going to help you make fantastic business decisions. I know, I've tried it in the past and it was terrible. Don't do it again. Obviously, if you're drinking alcohol, that's going to impair your ability to make good decisions too. If you're watching porn, then that's time you're not spending in your business. That's time you're not spending with your significant other. Or if you don't have a significant other, it's time you're not spending finding a significant other. Once you come, you're kind of demotivated to do anything else. That's why the no-fap movement has been so popular over the last few years, because when you're not watching porn, you have more energy, you have more motivation to crush your goals. I mentioned social media. It is very common for me to do a screen time analysis of a client and see that they are spending 7-8 hours a day just on the phone screen. That's not including the laptop screen too. If you're spending 7-8 hours a day on your phone screen, that's equivalent of about 114 days a year spent looking at your phone. 114 days. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that most of it isn't really productive time moving your business forward. Most of it's scrolling, checking, just doing random things that aren't making you money. That's why I would argue that your screen time and your phone in general is the biggest performance drainer of an entrepreneur. This thing is costing you more money than you care to know. Around 114 days a year if you're doing 7 to 8 hours a day. If you're doing less than that, it's still a lot. 5 hours a day, 90 days a year. It's a long time that you could be using to improve your health, grow your business, make more money, improve the relationship with your spouse, improve the relationship with your kids, or anything else, hobbies, physical activity. If this is speaking to you, first of all, acknowledge that it's a problem and know that you're not on your own. It is very common. The second thing I'd recommend is like what Jeff Bezos says. If you want to do more of something, reduce the friction. If you want to do less of something, increase the friction. So you want to increase the friction to the thing that is draining your performance, whether that's weed, alcohol, porn, screen time. Once you realize that, hey, this is something I want to deal with, increase the friction. If it's weed, can you leave it till the end of the day? Could you reduce it to the weekend? Could you start to put boundaries around it. And you do this by increasing the friction, making it difficult to smoke during the day, changing your habits, changing how you operate throughout the day. Having lock boxes, for example, telling your friends and family that, hey, you're not going to miss smoking at certain times a day, making it difficult for you to do the habit. Same with the alcohol, make it difficult for you to drink alcohol. Anything you can do to increase the friction work. Porn, there's lots of website blockers, there's things that you can do on your phone. If you've got an iPhone, there's an app called Opal. It helps you focus. And one of the things you can do is block private browsing and block certain websites such as porn. Increase the friction. If you're dealing with some type of addiction, it's just become a habit. So how do you break a habit? You break the habit by first having the motivation to break it, then by making it difficult to perform the habit itself, increase the friction, and then replace it with a more positive habit. So the time that you're not looking at porn, the time that you're not smoking weed or drinking, replace it with a more positive habit. So for example, instead of porn, maybe you're gonna go out and do some exercise during that time. Maybe you're gonna do some breathing, maybe you'll do some push-ups, maybe you'll do anything other than watching porn. Maybe if it's weed, think of something else you can do. I recommend breathing exercises. If it's alcohol, I recommend you become a connoisseur of high quality water and or make yourself a very nice protein shake or a very nice greens drink or smoothie, something else to replace that. If you still need help after increasing the friction and you notice you're still doing it, then go ahead and get help. I just wanted to make this video today just to let you know that you're not on your own and there are ways to get off it, and it is costing you a lot of money. If you're an entrepreneur watching this, start thinking about your hourly rate between $1,000 to $10,000 an hour so that you're working on big moves, projects that are going to give you an ROI of $1,000 to $10,000 an hour. And if you're dealing with any of these vices, it really is costing you money. I'm not an addiction specialist. I'm a high performance coach for entrepreneurs. I've just been seeing this trend over the last 15 years and I'm seeing it more frequently now. This is a message to you to let you know that you're not alone. You can do something about it. And if you're struggling to do it on your own, get some help. My name is Mark Dhamma. If you're an entrepreneur, subscribe to this channel. If not, don't subscribe.